Good evening all, I am back. Had been given a month off but now we can continue. Over the last month while I was given off, a lot have happened in South Africa. What is very disturbing is the amount of protests that have been happening on the streets and even the disruption of many transport services. Today again some of the citizens took it upon themselves to target foreigners and their businesses. The burning and pillaging have gotten out of hand and neither the police or the government is doing anything to stop these actions. Here is a clip from one of the local broadcasters that did report about the latest violence in South Africa. From news station ENCA.
Public transport is suspended in the Pretoria CBD. This as taxi drivers demand answers after one of their own was killed, allegedly by foreign national. Now, Tsegoacho Moage is following that story, and she has spent quite a few hours on those streets in the CBD. Tsego, thank you so much for joining us. People now will be looking at ways to make their way home from the capital CBD. What's the latest from your side?
Good afternoon, Marcel. So where I'm currently standing, I'm on Struben Street, and as you can see that there's a fire engine behind me that is trying to just contain a blaze that is within this particular building. I'm just going to request my colleague Joe to just show you what I'm talking about here. So this fire engine, they've brought in another one just shortly, and they're just trying to contain this particular fire that is currently underway in this building. And what we understand at the moment is that there are actually cars within this particular building to my left. So apparently there are cars here, and we are told that some of these cars belong to some of the foreign nationals who are actually within, who own these stores and whose shops have actually been burnt as well. So that's just the fire that they're trying to contain at this point in time. As you can clearly see, some of the vehicles that are in there and some firefighters inside really just trying to understand how they can best contain this fire. It has been going on for quite a few hours now, Marcel. So, and I did speak to some of the foreign nationals. They're just saying to me that their businesses are legit and they're trying their best to actually make a living here in South Africa, and they don't understand why their shops were burnt today.
Indeed, and also a worrying trend with foreign nationals more often than not being on the receiving end of angry locals. But speaking of angry locals, you've now been speaking to the various stakeholders in this standoff that led to these destructive scenes in the CBD. You spoke to some very angry taxi drivers who were accusing the police of being involved. There are elements of drug dealing and other criminal elements. Can you just give us an idea of the lay of the land, of what led to these very violent scenes and lawlessness in the CBD today?
Of course, Marcel, you would remember that yesterday a taxi driver was shot and killed by what they say was a foreign national in the CBD. We don't exactly understand the full details as to how he was shot, but we do understand that it was, they say, allegedly a foreign national that shot this taxi driver. And now taxi drivers really just saying that they will then take back the CBD. It is, of course, a problem now in the sense that some of the streets are still closed. Some taxis are actually operating at the moment, but we do also understand that people will be coming back from work. Some need to go to work and they're not quite sure how they will actually get there. But the taxi drivers really just upset, saying that they will take back the CBD and that they will do all it takes for the foreign nationals. And they say that they will go into Sunnyside as well to ensure that foreign nationals are taken out of those shops. And they say that they will also be looting and burning some of the shops in that area.
But why target all foreign nationals? If there is a criminal element that happens to be foreign, should that not be the target? Why are they taking this fight to all foreign nationals?
Interestingly, Marcel, when I did speak to some of the taxi drivers, they mentioned that the shops that they burnt today, that have been burnt down today, that drugs are being sold in those particular shops, and that is why they then decided to burn those particular shops. They say that they've got evidence that there's definitely drugs in those shops, but we're not quite sure why they're deciding to actually go to all foreign nationals and not just decide to actually go to the police. That's another thing I did ask them as to why are they not going to the police to ensure that everything that is they say is illegal is taken out of the city of Tshwane. But they are also claiming, and there are allegations that some of the police officers actually work with some of the foreign nationals in dealing with these drugs. So a lot of allegations being thrown around and a lot of claims also being thrown around, Marcel.
What are we hearing from the police, both for today and going into this evening and tomorrow? How are they going to ensure the safety of people who use the CBD every day?
Absolutely. I did speak to the Gauteng Police Commissioner a little while ago, and he mentioned that more police officers will be deployed into the city of Tshwane and areas like Sunnyside, where we do know that there are foreign national-owned shops there. They're saying that more of those police officers will also be deployed to areas like that, just to ensure that there is no lawlessness within the city of Tshwane. And they're saying that they will be meeting with taxi operators and taxi drivers just to understand what their problem is and how best the police can also help them in solving their problems and their issues.
Okay, we're going to leave it there. Thank you so much for your hard work today. ENCA's Tegoacho Moage bringing us the very latest from the Pretoria CBD.
This very morning, train services were disrupted by disgruntled people by burning tires on the train tracks. Services got to be halted for several hours, making those that wanted to get to work and rely on the services very late for work. Now those that were late for work will be penalized for the actions of others. Many businesses do not have an option other than penalize the late workers because no business can survive with an unreliable workforce. Hope that you have a great evening. Remember to subscribe and ring the bell.